Oh my god, what is it called? The Sky Blues? Oh shit. Hi!
Hello, everybody.
Hi, welcome to the Chain of Iron live show where I forgot the name of our April book of the month. I think it's called The Sky Blues. And I just...
the Sky Blues.
Okay, I got it. I'm about to announce it and I don't have the book with me. Anyway, but today we're talking about Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. And our April book of the month is The Sky Blues by Robbie Couch. It's his debut, and we're very excited to read it. It's a contemporary. It's supposed to be like cute and warm-hearted. I'm excited. But this month, Chain of Iron, Cassandra Clare, so much drama, so much to talk about. We'll do a quick non-spoilery section with our thoughts. I've already feel like I've given mine because I have like a 45-minute book talk where I talk for like 5 fucking hours straight. Sorry, I cursed again.
Wait, can we also announce our May book of the month?
Oh yeah. Why am I blanking on it?
It's not May.
It's not May yet, but it's April.
No, that book doesn't come out until the end of May.
Oh, it's our June book of the month.
It's our June book of the month?
Why are we all over the place?
Wow, okay, just kidding. Scratch that. So
we have a schedule. It's not in front of us, obviously. Anyway, thank you all for being here.
Okay, I'm wrong. It is the May book of the month.
I thought so.
Oh my gosh, Kat. You guys, hello. We're fine. My name's Christine. That's Jessie, and that's Kat, and we're Booksplosion. Wait, Jessie. Booksplosion. Jessie, talk about our May book of the month.
This is our May book of the month. I always butcher the title, so can somebody else say the
Lycanthropy and other chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
I actually know a little bit about this one because I'm really excited for it. It's about a girl who has a chronic illness, and so she spends a lot of time online in this forum, and she becomes friends with someone else who has a chronic illness. And she decides at one point that she's going to go on a road trip and go and meet her friend. And so she does that, and when she gets there to meet her friend, it turns out her friend is apparently a werewolf, and that is her friend's chronic illness.
Nice.
And yeah,
I just clicked into the chat, and the first thing I saw was, "Are you guys okay?" We're fine. It's all fine. Okay, so our upcoming book of the month to recap. This month, April, The Sky Blues by Robbie Couch. And next month, May, is Lycanthropy and Other Chronic Illnesses. They're going to be a fun time. And now we're going to talk about...
Also, before we get to that, what are we doing on Tuesday?
Oh shit, yeah. Oh, thanks for reminding me. So next Tuesday, again, my better paperback comes out. We're doing a special Taylor Swift live show on my channel, and we're going to talk about...
On your channel or on your Instagram?
On Instagram.
Oh, yeah, 4. It's going to be on my Instagram. Why?
Fine.
I can't say anything right. It's going to be on Instagram. I'm at Xteen. I'm at XTeenMay on Instagram. XTINEMAY. It's going to be real fun. We have a whole Taylor Swift theme live show. So we're going to be talking about Taylor Swift's all of her albums. And then we're going to be renaming songs again, but better. Renaming Taylor Swift songs with fun new titles. And it's going to be a blast. And again, a better paperback is out. It's pink and it has a bonus chapter that takes place right after the last chapter that's before the epilogue. Super fun. And I hope you like it. It's pretty, and I love it. And Taylor Swift, we all love Taylor Swift. And so does the lead character, Shane. That's why it's relevant. in case you didn't know. And I'm just like, let's talk about Taylor Swift and this. Like, there's a tie. So it's on Instagram at @XteenMay, and Jesse and Kat will be there, and we're all going to talk about Taylor Swift.
Now that that incoherent intro is done, let's talk about Chain of Iron.
Okay, Chain of Iron. So I have so many questions for you guys. I wanted to talk about this weeks ago when I finished it. Let's talk about your initial thoughts, though.
Without
non-spoilers.
Tiny spoiler-free section, because it's really hard to talk about this without spoilers.
Yeah, this is going to be really tiny. I'll go first. I already talked for 45 minutes in my book talk, so you can see my thoughts over there. Now, Jesse, you go.
Honestly, I'm kind of upset about this book. I'm not going to lie. There was just a lot of things that made me angry. It was the most angsty book I've read in a long time, and I was just not really here for it. I just wasn't in the mood for an angsty book. I mean, I still loved it because obviously, like, I love Cassandra Clare's writing. I love her world.
Wait, you were in the mood for a what book?
Angsty book. It was so angsty and annoying. I was just like, come on. And like, just so many things, so many relationship issues with all the relationships. It's like, okay, are we going to catch a break at all? No, we're not.
I see a lot of people saying what time is the live show, and did we decide on a time? Should we do the same time we usually do? 3 o'clock. Okay, it's 3 Pacific, guys. Sorry about that, Jesse. I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Go.
There were some like elements that I really liked that I can't really talk about in the spoilery section, so I'll wait to get to that. But there were a few things that I really liked. But yeah, mostly just frustration station. That's how I felt. Tell us your thoughts.
Same. Like, I love Cassie's books, and I love the characters, but like my main feeling leaving this book was like anger and frustration, and that's not what I enjoy feeling leaving a book. Like, I get it, it's the middle book in a trilogy, so like I know that we had to leave some things hanging, but like so many things happened in the last few chapters that was just like, we're not going to resolve this. We're not going to resolve this. We're not going to resolve this. And it just left me feeling so like unsettled and mad.
Yeah, I feel like as far as, oh damn it, I read the chat and completely like lost my train of thought. I feel like though this has all of the tropes that we saw in like early YA that we got really tired of by now. And like, not to say like those tropes are bad, but like once you see them enough times, you want to murder them. And I have no doubt that Cassie's gonna fucking knock the 3rd book out of the park because that is her specialty. Like, she can slay a 3rd book. But it was just frustrating. It was like all the stuff that happened was so frustrating. And I just saw that your thing says Jesse the Overlord. And mine just says chain next to it. Instead of chain up.
Oh my god.
Sorry. Anyway, I love all the characters though, and I love a lot of the other stuff going on. It was just like the bracelet that ruined my life.
See, that's actually.
I think we need to get into spoilers now because we're treading dangerous.
I can say a non-spoiler actually. I think part of like why I didn't enjoy this one as much as I just don't feel as invested in the characters for some reason. With the characters, I just don't feel it yet for some reason. I don't know what it is, but like I'm not as attached to them as I am with like the other characters from the past books. So I don't know what's going on.
I feel that a little bit as well, especially in the beginning of this one. Like, we had so many characters to reintroduce and re-meet, and like we spend a lot of time just like reestablishing everything. Yeah. And like some of the characters, like I don't remember their connections. Like, it wasn't until like the end of the book when I remembered Christopher and Thomas's who their parents were and like what their connections to each other and other characters were. I'm like, who's cousin again? Kind of situation. Like with the Infernal Devices, we have a large cast of or not the Infernal Devices with we have a large cast of characters, but like they're all the Blackthorn siblings. It's like 7 siblings, and so like their connections and like their family dynamic a little bit better. But with this one, it's harder to keep everyone's connection.
Guys, it's very simple. Thomas, Eugenia, and and Barbara are Gideon and Sophie's kids. And then Anna and Christopher. What's happening? Anna and Christopher are Cecily and Gabriel's kids. And then Matthew and Charles are Charlotte and Henry's.
Okay, well, we all can't be overachievers, Christine. So.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't remember that at the very beginning because I have no short-term memory or long-term memory. I have crappy memory. I didn't remember those things.
It definitely is more of an ensemble, like way more of an ensemble than the Infernal Devices. And like, so we only get glimpses of some of the characters that like I felt really attached to Anna from like the short story we read about her. And I thought she does a bigger part in this one than the last one, but she's still like side character-ish.
That could also be like, I haven't read a lot of, like, I didn't read any of the Ghosts of the Shadow Market ones. Is that?
Oh yeah. Those are
stories, and there's
really important.
Characters. Yeah, a lot of the characters are like in those stories, right?
Oh, they're introduced there.
I don't have those like that like backstory.
Yeah.
I guess. So maybe if I.
Oh, guys, this is why you're not as attached.
Yeah, like it's not required reading. So
it's required. Did you not hear me say that it's required reading?
I did actually read a couple of the stories because you said that they were the most important. So.
Did you read the one about Anna and the one about Matthew?
I read the one about Matthew.
Okay, the Anna one is a really good introduction to Anna. Okay. And yeah, Anna and Matthew I think are the most important for this, but then there's some with Jem that I feel like are kind of important now that Jem's becoming into the story a little bit more. I really like Jem's relationship with James. Like, we didn't know how big a part of their life he was. Like, he plays violin at the wedding, and like he coaches James on how to use his ability. And then like when James has an issue, he wants to talk to Uncle Jem, and he doesn't call him like brother fucking Zachariah. And of course he's away. This is something that's like starting to frustrate me because I feel like in every book, someone's at the Spiral Labyrinth trying to figure something out when you need them. And I'm like, of course that's where they are. Like, so, okay, I'm going to start going through my line of questioning for y'all.
We're getting into spoilers.
Spoiler time, yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers are coming. Okay, who are your favorite top 3 characters in the Chain of Gold world?
Okay, Jesse is obviously like my favorite. I love him. And like,
because you have the same name.
It's not the same name. Like, I don't know. He's just such an interesting character.
It's just like
especially in this book. No,
just same name.
Not at all. But especially in this book, like his character was so interesting. And, like,
he is very interesting.
how everything was tied in with Belial. Yeah, that guy.
I mean, I just
you don't like that guy. So yeah, I love Jesse's character. I love Matthew and Alistair.
Not Matthew. Alistair is with Thomas.
Oh, Thomas and Alistair. I like them a lot.
I love them too.
I also feel like we didn't really get that much of them.
I want this is the
thing.
An ensemble. It's like we don't get enough of each thing, but when they were that night they did have together, I thought it was so nice.
Yeah. And
then I was so mad because not even them could just like get to the end of the book without ruining it with Alistair being annoying. Like, shut up.
I feel like there's like none of the couples are like fucking together by the end of the book, which is so frustrating. But I feel like theirs is one that's more understandable because like Alistair has been kind of a bad guy to that group of friends for so long. Yeah. But like it's understandable, but it's also easy to fix.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Thomas would just have to talk to them, and then they'd respect that choice.
Yeah.
But they also have the problem of being gay in 1903.
Well, they don't care, though. As friends don't care.
Yeah, they don't care as friends, but society as a whole. Like, they have understandable barriers and that their hates him and, like, it could cause an issue. But it's also, we see a clear solution to the fact that Alistair is going to redeem himself more and get accepted into the friend group. Like, that is a relatively easy fix, and I'm not stressed out about them because I'm like, they just need a little bit of time. Like, it's been 1 day since that happened. Like, give Thomas a moment to, like, talk to him and shoot his shot. So, like,
I was, like, very frustrated because he said the friend was the reason, and I was like, those friends are kind people, so they're not going to be like, you can't date him. Like,
they're not. But Alistair is also, he's still in a place where he doesn't like himself very much, and he knows that he was a bad guy during school, and he also doesn't know the extent of how much he impacted Matthew, and I feel like that's going to be the biggest conflict to get over because Matthew still holds a grudge against him for the rumors.
Of course, I was just like, I wanted one couple to make it through, and I thought they were going to be the one. And then I was like,
one couple did kind of make it through, and that's Lucy and Jesse, presumably, because
Lucy basically killed herself to bring Jesse back.
I don't think she's dead. I think she's passed out.
No, she's not dead because she's with a wizard who wants to use her, so he's going to help her. But like, I'm nervous that that her using that power made someone else drop dead somewhere. Because you need a life to bring back a life.
Like pushing daisies?
Yeah. Kind of. I forget exactly how that magic works because I haven't watched in so long. But I just feel like we know so much about necromancy. Like, things have to die for something to come back to life. And we didn't, like, murder a bunch of people and take their hands. You know, like, we didn't, like, get the blood of a fucking blackthorn. So I feel like there has to be a consequence of her using that power. And if it's not her, like, immediately dying, you know, something else had to have happened. Unless it just sapped her life and now she, like, has to lead, like, a half-life. Like, we haven't...
That would be interesting if it's reversed and how Jesse has to find a way to, like, bring her back.
This is ridiculous. But I feel like if anyone's going to go dark out of this family, it's going to be Lucy from all this necromancy stuff.
I am concerned about what is going to happen with Malcolm Fade, because at this point,
I think we know what happens.
We know to a degree what happens to Malcolm Fade, but also, like, according to the family tree, Lucy and Jesse are the chain that leads directly to our Blackthorn siblings. So, like, I feel like Lucy is going to do something to, like, really piss Malcolm off. Like, I feel like she's going to betray him or, like, not follow through with what she agreed, or I don't know, some kind of...
What's going to piss him off is, like, he's going to raise Annabelle from the dead, and she's going to be like, yeah, they buried me alive. And that's
not Lucy's fault.
Well, it's not anyone's fault, but Malcolm says it is. But yeah, I think that also she doesn't have to fulfill her part of the bargain because his part was to bring Jesse back to life. Guess who's already back to life?
Yeah, but if he's not fulfilling his part of the bargain, then why should she have to fulfill hers?
That's what I mean. That I feel like he's gonna, and then maybe he'll get mad.
Yeah, probably.
So we'll see. I don't trust him at all, and I'm very scared. Okay, why do you think they didn't portal to Cornwall at the end? They were like in a carriage.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. What's your theory?
I was like, do they have to, like, get to a place where he can portal them? Like, I was like, are they going to an area for him to make a portal? I just...
I don't remember if there are any limitations on portaling.
There are. I mean, if you can go from New York City to Idris, I think we're good.
You have to, like, have visited the place before or something like that.
We just have to visualize it, but, like, they've been to Cornwall.
And I don't know.
Will has. So I'm thinking, like, maybe they're going to a place where they could portal, and maybe they were just in the carriage to go pick up James.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no, I don't think portals are dangerous because Malcolm used one to bring them back to the Institute right after that battle. It was just like, whoop, flop.
Yeah, portals are still so new and, like, kind of, like, sketchy technology still.
We're using them.
They're using them, but wasn't there a line about someone who, like, couldn't use a portal yet or didn't trust portals yet or something.
Yeah, but it was like stupid. Wasn't it like a Lightwood or something?
Yeah, it was like
Gabriel.
or Bridgerton or something. It was someone who like didn't trust portals.
It was something, but yeah, I feel like they have to portal there, or it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We have Magnus here. Okay, so you guys didn't say your top 3 characters.
How Jesse started.
I got sidetracked. Jesse.
Oh yeah, we talked about Jesse.
Alistair and Thomas. I'm pairing them together because we don't see that much of them. So.
2 people.
And then Cordelia, I guess, would be my third. I don't know.
Cool.
I'm torn. I'm gonna say 4, but they're like, I feel like the main 4 pretty much. Jesse, Lucy, Cordelia, and James.
Wow, you guys are saying a lot of people.
I said 4 instead of 3. Christine, you always add.
You always do.
Yes,
Like 2, 3, and you're like, I have 10. So.
True story.
Okay, you can name exactly 3.
Yeah, only 3, Christine.
James, Matthew. It's hard just to pick one more.
Yeah, we know.
Will.
That does not count.
Well, anyone else, I want to pick somebody else.
Counts, but that's like a waste of a pick.
Fine, Alistair.
Really?
I do think he's like such an interesting character. Like I really like every time he's in a scene because something like they always have really interesting conversations or he does something that you don't expect him to do. Yeah. And I really enjoy was it in this one that he and Cordelia had a really nice talk? Oh my god, I've already forgotten like everything they talk about, but I feel like they had a nice talk.
They had a couple of nice talks. Yeah. Their dad passed away.
Yeah. And I just think that like it's really nice to see the softer side of him that we're like slowly getting to see through his interactions with various characters. And I'm really excited about like how everything he said to Thomas during their like night together was so nice. And
and just the fact that he was like following Thomas around on his patrols.
Yeah.
I really like Alistair too. I think he's a really great character who has a really interesting arc because he starts off as like kind of a bad guy to so many of the people in the book, like the whole merry band of thieves. But he has a great redemption line and like you feel for him.
Yeah.
Caroline just said Lilith is my favorite character who can relate. Okay. So let's just jump to this Lilith twist. So did anyone see Magnus is like not Magnus? And and what was your reaction to Lilith? Because I was like, I fell through like a 10-story building. I was like, no.
Have we? This is a stupid question, but have we seen Lilith before?
City of Fallen Angels, Jesse!
Oh my gosh, but it's been so long. See, this is why I'm overwhelmed because there's so much history in these freaking books that I just forget everything.
Well, she like possessed Jace, and Sebastian is her son. Like her blood is in Sebastian. And I feel like that, like she might have been a little inspired by Belial and was like, yeah, use my blood. I want relatives.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't as shocked by Lilith appearing because we did get that like sort of seemingly random mention of her in the beginning. So
yeah.
Okay, that might come back.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
What really sealed the deal for me was when Cordelia first had her like big paladin moment and all those little demons were like, oh, we didn't tell your master to forgive us. Like we didn't know that we wouldn't have attacked you otherwise. And I was like, why would the demons be saying this?
I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That was when I first started thinking, like, oh, Wayland is. I thought he was maybe another D. I didn't connect that he was Lilith, but I was like, Cordelia's whole swearing fealty to him was too impulsive for my taste.
Suspicious. I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah. The reveal of that, like every step of the manipulation, I thought was really interesting because I didn't piece that together at all. But I feel like it was also maybe too subtle because like it happened so fast to get to the point of like swearing fealty. Like Cordelia only like barely had problems with Cortana, and then she was like going off on this adventure and then like swearing fealty so fast, and I was like, wait, think for a minute, like you don't just swear fealty. Why would you? Why?
I could see where like it feels like almost a dream, like because I wants to be a hero so much. She wants to like the inner storybook. So it's kind of like, how do you say no? And
that's why I didn't like. I want to call it like the stupidest thing ever she could do because actually Wayland the Jace is so powerful. He comes off as a god. So like, how do you say no to him in the first place? Like, what are your choices? Like
Sarah just said in the chat, big Gryffindor energy from Cordelia in that scene. Like exactly. Like that is such a Gryffindor. Like let's just do it. But yeah, I was just like, is this normal? Like maybe this is like a normal thing in Shadowhunter history. Like, because I just was so distracted by the fucking frustration of everything else.
I mean, it's also like Wayland created Cortana, so like she has a lot of trust in him inherently from just who he is and his connection to her weapon. So like I can see her being swept up into it, but I think she would have like needed a little more convincing or something. Like she was a little bit too eager for me.
You know what? But like Lilith did such a good job because she planted it from like two different random people.
Yeah,
that, like Lilith, that he was there. So I was like, oh wow, like this is weird. Like he's a thing that people know about, but really it was just Lilith all along. And that revealed that it was actually Lilith. Like I didn't expect her to come back in that way. Right. It was just like blew my mind to like the scariest place. It's like, oh no. But okay.
That might be my favorite aspect of the book was Lilith coming back and her and Belial's rivalry. Because I really enjoy having these two powerful villains who are at each other. Like that makes it a really interesting dynamic, especially because of James and Cordelia's connections to the opposite sides of this rivalry.
Yeah. I think that scene was like the best one in the book.
Yeah,
like, it was
and Lucy and like all the tension, like everything came together so beautifully. It was really good. Just for everything to fall apart in the last few chapters.
Yeah, it was so well done. I was just like, but okay, 2 ships that you're shipping the hardest.
I have 3.
Is there more than 3?
There's so many ships. What are you talking about?
I guess there is more. Yeah.
There's 3. I feel like the 3 main ones are what I'm going to say, which is James and Cordelia, Lucy and Jesse, and Alistair and Thomas. I don't hate Grace and Christopher, but Grace has her work cut out for her to find any trace of redemption and be accepted into this group. Like she's poised to have a redemption arc at this point, but it really depends on what happens next. Like we have a dangerous villain and she's going to confess, and then James pieces out. Like, is she actually going to confess? Because when she showed up at their place, she didn't know that James had lost his bracelet, and she was still pulling her evil manipulative shit. So, and it was only when James like called her out on it that she was like, okay, I lost. This is my only option to tell him the truth and to try to get us help this way. So like, she wasn't going to come do it out of the goodness of her own heart. Like she was still just doing it for selfish manipulative reasons. So like her next move is vital in whether or not she can be redeemed. But I feel like she's going to, because I feel like we're building up Christopher and Grace.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I was not like, as much as it's like cute-ish to ship Jesse and Lucy, like I can't do it because he's dead. And I'm like, you have to perform necromancy for him to be alive. And I do not want that. I'm so like after PDA, I'm like necromancy is just like the devil's work.
I don't think he's not dead in the same way that like traditional necromancy are dead.
He is dead.
Like that. No, he's dead in a special way that he can be brought back to life.
He's dead in a special way because of necromancy magic. Like that's why he's dead in a special way.
Maybe.
But like he died because what's his name? Fucking Belial put his blood in him, his essence, and then he got tattoo, and it was angelic, and it killed him, and he died a bloody death. So I don't know. It's just like it's very weird, and I'm like, oh my god, all those kids are like born from like necromantic, like a dead kid had them. Like a dead person had them, and a queen of death. Like it's like the queen of dead people. Like,
well, necromancy aside, I like their dynamic. And I like the reason why they can't be together. It's not a miscommunication like everyone else in this stupid book.
I don't think it matters how old Jesse would be if he didn't die. Someone asked, PY asked like how old he'd be. I think he's at least like 7 or 8 years older than her.
Yeah, he's supposed to be 24.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly. But it doesn't matter though, because he's like, he hasn't done anything. He's been stuck. Like he hasn't been, it's not even like Edward Cullen who's been like living life. He's just been like a ghost who's like stuck to his house and like wherever his body is. So anyway, okay. Shipping the hardest, Jesse.
Oh. James and Grace, Matthew and Cordelia.
Ew.
I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Alistair and Thomas, and Anna and
Ariadne.
Yeah, but honestly, I needed more from both couples, so I was just really frustrated reading this book because we got like nothing from either, and I was just like,
I am just so frustrated with Anna. I'm like, she apologized. She's sorry.
Yeah, that like whole. I was just so frustrated because like we didn't need for them to have a complicated relationship in this book. Like we didn't need that. Like everybody else is having complications. Give us.
Well,
like,
I just wish they worked through it. Like they could be working through it because they never had like a time where they were both on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. With them, I feel like it's similar to Alistair and Thomas, though, in that their obstacles are easy to overcome. They just need a little bit of time and to like come around to it. It's like I understand that Anna was really hurt by what Ariadne did, and like that really hurt her and like made her unable to trust anyone, but especially Ariadne. So like I see them overcoming that all.
Like, I feel like if that was like one of the lead story roles, like I would be more okay with it. But since we only got glimpses and all the glimpses were like upsetting, I was just like, But anyway, I guess I'm gonna say obviously James and Cordelia, and I think Thomas and Alistair next, because I really want them both to be happy.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out like a line in City of Lost Souls. I didn't get to go back and read it, where Magnus references Thomas and him being like as tall as a tree and like having some sort of like monster inside him. And I don't know if that's like, maybe it was supposed to be James. I don't know. But like, maybe, I don't, like, they were like, what do you think that monster is? And I'm like, I don't know. Someone like screenshotted it and sent me on Twitter. I have to go back and like read it for context.
I would need context for that. But we do see a little bit of like Thomas has a bit of a temper Like
What?
there was that moment when he was like shouting and angry, and he's like, "I need to shout."
Oh, I can't remember that.
I don't remember the context of it exactly.
Yeah, so in City of Lost Souls, I think it was when like Alec and was talking about his ancestors with Magnus and being like, did you know them?
I feel like that might be more of a rumor than anything though, because most of what we see of Thomas is just him being like kind and gentle.
Oh, the person who sent it says she's in the chat. You know the context and what page it was on, so I can look it up later.
They said it's from the Land I Lost short story from Ghosts of the Shadow Market.
Oh, I thought it was City of Lost Souls.
That's pretty recent.
Oh, because when you said Land I Lost, I was like, oh, you mean City of Lost Souls? Because I was just like glancing at it. Because I just remember them talking about like past people.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't remember. Okay. So it must be relevant then, because she wrote that as more recently.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I have a quick question. At this point in time, James does not know that Lucy can command the dead.
He doesn't know the extent, I feel like.
He knows that he can see ghosts and like communicate with them, but the commanding the dead was something that she kept secret, and then Jessamine spilled the beans to her parents. So what I think is going to be an interesting confrontation is James and Lucy, because James just got out of this dynamic, this relationship with Grace where she was commanding him and manipulating him. And he said that like this gift was too terrible for anyone to have and she needs to have it removed. And now he's going to find out that his sister can command people and force them to do what he wants. And I think that's really going to affect James in an interesting way, because
I feel like he knows his sister wouldn't do
but I think that after what he's been through for the last 4 years of being controlled and manipulated, like I think he's going to have issues with the controlling someone's willpower.
Well, this is another thing that's kind of left open-ended, because the ghosts are all like, you cannot command someone without their permission. And it's like, what is the consequence for commanding someone without their permission? Because we see that like it saps her energy, but we don't know like exactly, is there something else? You know, is that because the way they're talking about it sounds like there's more to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lucy's going to have to get rid of this ability. I feel like
I don't think you can. I feel like it's part of her. It's her Belial gift. It's her Tessa change gift.
But if it's gonna like corrupt her soul.
Well, if she uses it for good.
I feel like it's borderline necromancy, and you're very anti-necromancy.
I know, but like I feel like she's such like a sweet person. So if anyone can find a way, it's her. She has Will and Tessa as parents. So, okay, let's move on here. So what the fuck is up with the security at the Citadel where Tatiana can just do whatever the hell she wants and escape?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Do you have a theory, Christine?
That was another thing that was just very extremely frustrating. Where like Tatiana, like yeah, she has to go to the Citadel, but like what kind of punishment is this? Where she can still like possess people to like harass her adopted daughter and communicate through mirrors, and then just go out for a jaunty walk and be whisked away by her demon patron.
I know. I was so mad when that happened. I was like, what do you, and she tries to explain it off like they think she's just some crazy lady, but like, okay, why don't you have the crazy lady in a room?
Yeah.
She's not doing crazy shit.
Like, at the very least, I feel like Belial should have had to do more to help her break out.
Yeah.
Like, that was such a short scene where it's just like 1.5 pages, 2 pages of like Belial, like of like the very end of the book, Belial whisking her away. But like I feel like he should have had to done more to break her out. Like he should have had to like attack everyone in the Citadel. Like that
or like, do you think the Citadel would be heavily warded with Adamus since it's makes Adamus?
Like, this whole entire time, Tatiana was like working from within to like break down wards and like not like do something to like dismantle the whole Citadel.
Yeah, I feel like we needed from her point of view then.
Yeah.
You
something.
feel
So
the
it's
breakout.
established, yeah.
Mhm. So
Like,
I know that.
this is too easy.
So okay. So let's talk about Magnus. So like I had hints of like that's a weird thing for Magnus to say, but like I was so happy that he was here that I didn't even think about the fact that it would like in a million years not be him.
Yeah.
It feels like I don't want to say a lot of use of Polyjuice Potion, but I feel like there's a lot of use of Polyjuice Potion, and I don't know like if there are any rules for that, you know?
Yeah.
Which is not an Eidolon demon.
That's another thing. Is like how is that happening? Because like whoever it was also impersonated Matthew to get the what do they call it? A pythos?
Yeah, the Pisces.
No, not the Pisces. The thing that could remove.
Yeah, isn't it called a Pythos? Oh no,
That's the box that holds a demon, isn't it?
Oh yeah, is it?
There's similar words.
Pythos? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, you just read it. I mean, obviously you're right. I can't.
I'm not obviously right. I might. You know when you don't know a word, so you just kind of like make up one that's similar in your head. I might be doing that.
I mean, that's what I'm doing too because we've heard the word Pisces so many times.
A pythos. Pythos.
Okay, yeah, they are very similar.
None of us listen to the audiobook. None of us know how to pronounce any of these things.
I can see it in my head, like what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay, a pithos and a pyxis. The thing is, how do you pronounce these things? Yeah. Like we know how they're spelled, but like how
I think we're pronouncing right, Pithos and Pisces. How else would it be? But okay, so yeah, when he was like talking to Belial and being all like, "Why did you not fear Lilith's wrath?" I was like, weird. And Magnus like didn't come back or try to like help James or anything when he was like being attacked by Belial in that realm. I was like, this is weird. But just let it slip because of the bracelet. Like,
yeah, I just let it slip too. It wasn't a focal point. I wasn't thinking like, oh, maybe this isn't Magnus.
Yeah, and also Magnus is in like every book, so it's like, of course Magnus is
here.
here.
It's like, oh yeah, Magnus's appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know the rules for like impersonating people because we've seen it as like an Eidolon demon, and we've seen like Tessa do it. It's like a really rare thing. So now like Lilith doing it, and also Belial, it seems like.
Yeah, I need some more rules for this.
Yeah.
Because then it's like crazy land. Anyone can do anything.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, wasn't that an issue with
Fantastic Beasts?
Well, no, I was gonna say the Shadowhunters show.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also in Fantastic Beasts they started like using Polyjuice Potion like it's nothing. And it's just like I thought that was hard to make and hard to acquire.
When you have something like that starts like breaking the rule, like you can't trust anything at that point because it's too easy. There's no cost. Like, why, if you guys know that it's easy and that anyone can do this, then why don't you have more precautions in place of like, you know, asking questions to like make sure that they're the right person, having passwords or something like that. Like,
yeah. Okay. Let's keep moving. We got like 15 minutes here. Rank the Herondales for me, y'all. Who is your top Herondale?
Oh, like our main character Herondales.
Well, there's also Kit.
Yeah, no, I see the Kit, Jace, James, Will. They're like characters across all the series.
Mm-hmm.
Will.
Oh, sorry, I'm like not including Lucy.
Yeah, I was saying.
Wow.
I was just doing the Herondale men, but like
men only.
Yeah, I was just thinking the Herondale men because Lucy doesn't have like a counterpart.
There you go.
Are we counting Cecily?
I don't know her well enough. I feel
either.
like I kind of know her, but like I feel like she's very much like Izzy in my head.
Mm.
What do you? Fine, I'll put her here, but like I feel like it's gonna be on the bottom for me.
Okay, I think Will, Lucy, Kit, James, Jace, Cecily for me.
Jace is so far down?
Listen, I'm not the biggest Jace fan. Y'all know this. Y'all know this.
I forgot.
I think mine is Will, James, Lucy, Jace, Kit, Cecily.
Wow. I can't believe Jace is low on yours too.
Well, it's also been so long since I've read him.
Do you remember him in TDA? He's amazing. He's like a few years older, and he's so much better. As like
he's not in it a lot.
Yeah, it's not the focal point.
Oh my gosh! Every time
what the Magnus book that we read last year? We had the whole gang together again. Not Red Scrolls, but the next one.
White Book of White. Book of White.
The White Book of White.
A lot of people saying Will first and Jace last. Guys, I'm in love with Jace. I like he's really close to Will. Like I can barely choose. But Will first, then
there's so many people that have Jace at the bottom.
I know. I love Jace. I don't think you guys are appreciating that Jace was like 16 and now he's like adult and he's the best. But James is like I can see that he's going to be wonderful, but like he's just like needs some more time to like grow. Like and I think he might already be wonderful, but like he's manipulated by that stupid bracelet, so he's always in a fog. Jace is like Christine's for love. He is. After Edward, I found Jace.
like Christine, you have that connection with him. Like I didn't read City of Bones until I was like well into YA and well into my 20s.
He is not an annoying adult. He's my everything. Like every time Jace was on screen, I was like, "Oh my god!" But NCT Jace was hilarious. Like he was so funny. Anyway, Kit's at the bottom because I feel like I don't know him much, but we're gonna get to know him. Okay, let's move to the next question here. Okay. We already talked about that. Okay. Okay, we already talked about that. Okay, can we talk about the whispering room and how it's just like a room where people go to have sex at this club? Like, does everyone know about it? Is it locked when you're not in here? Can anyone walk in? Because I feel like anyone could walk in. And like, do they disinfect it? Because it seems very unsanitary. Like, was it disinfected on people's minds in the 1800s, or was it just like disgusting in there?
I feel like disinfectant wasn't on people's mind. When did they start washing their hands? When did doctors start washing their hands? Because that didn't happen until like way beyond the point that it should have been happening.
They washed their hands in this. They're in the 1900s.
Well, no, I remember there was a whole thing of like the first person. There was a lot of like babies dying from doctors like tending to sick patients and then delivering babies. And one doctor suggested like maybe we should wash our hands between patients, and the other doctors were like, "How dare you accuse us of being dirty? Like, what are you?" And, like, he was like shamed out of the profession. People wash their hands. I'm looking this up. I want to find out what year this
I know in Outlander, she has like a bucket of alcohol that she washes her hands with, but she's also from more modern times. Okay, let's talk about Matthew, you guys, because we haven't.
Surgeons began regularly scrubbing up in the 1870s. So
Okay, so we're past that time.
we're past that time, but only by like 30 years. So I'm sure cleanliness isn't. They don't understand it yet.
So I was just asking about Matthew. Okay, Matthew. So I don't know. You probably didn't watch my book talk, but like I had a whole thing about like where's all the money from? Because like Matthew's so rich that he can buy his own flat from his parents and a car.
Wondering that as well. Like, how do they have so much money? I started wondering when I was like, oh, they all like have hired help. Like they're all very like well off in society. Like they're all like essentially like lords and ladies of society.
Yeah, well, it got me thinking like, how did their families get their money? Because they're shadow hunters. But then literally everyone in my comments gave me a lecture afterwards. Like, I got so many essays, and I'm like, if you scroll down, there's like 5. Don't worry, I've read them. So like in other books, I guess we talk about how like the church and the state, like different like religious organizations, all donate to like the clave, and then the clave gives every active shadow hunter a salary, and you get a higher salary if you run an institute. And so Charlotte has been running the institute since she's 23. So maybe she has like a lot of savings now, but like
I guess they have a lot of money, but because like a lot of them spend it all like willy-nilly, like buying fancy clothes and like renting a room at the Devil's Tavern, and like they all have plenty of money to burn.
Yeah, I mean, like, so they bought Matthew this entire flat. It's kind of like, or did he have like a savings account from his parents that he's just, because presumably they were like, you have to get help and stop drinking if you want to live under our roof. And he was like, I can't do that. And he went out and got his own flat.
He has his, if it's active shadow hunters, does it mean those over the age of 18? Like, you have to be of age?
I would assume that, right? Because
where does he get his money from?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he has one of those things that like really wealthy people give their kids, like not like those accounts, you know, like you get when you're a certain age. Maybe since they're in Europe, 18. It's just shadow hunters are 17. It's 17, right?
I don't.
Or is it 18? Maybe it is 18.
I think in this book it's mentioned that like none of you can go on patrols because you're not 18. Trust fund.
Trust fund. That's what I was thinking. Yes. So, Charlotte's father ran the London Institute before her. Okay, so their family probably has a lot of money from running the institute, and then Will's been running the institute. So,
but that doesn't explain where Matthew has personal money, because like presumably if his parents were like, you need to sober up or you can't live here, they're not just gonna like give him a ton.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and like he has
elsewhere and keep drinking.
Like, a car right now has to be so expensive. Like it just came.
Not his car. It like came with the building.
It came with his apartment. Yeah. It's a lot of money. So anyway, they make a very high salary as the institute head. Okay, so let's talk about Hypatia real quick, because she was having an affair with presumably Lilith, because Magnus is Lilith in that scene. What do you think's going on there?
Are they having an affair though? Were Hypatia and Magnus ever together like that?
They're dating, she said. She's like, I thought we were being discreet.
She didn't say they were dating. She just said she had a gentleman caller. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're together.
Well, no, but it means that they were having, like, relations. She
Not
said,
necessarily.
It feels like they were because they were meeting, like, late at night.
Yeah, it was
like booty call time. It was like after midnight.
It was an obvious assumption, but we don't necessarily see them together in that way. And has that ever been mentioned in any other book that Magnus and Hypatia do?
No, that's why I think it's Lilith, and maybe she knows it's Lilith. Which is she runs her club.
Hypatia runs Lilith's club.
Yeah. So like Lilith and Hypatia's like actually having an affair with Lilith, who's like the mother of all warlocks, which is kind of like what is that Greek play? Epitus. Why am I blanking on it?
I know what you're talking about.
The chat's gonna be like, Christine, it's obviously this. It's been a while since I talked about Oedipus. And like there's a word like Oedipusalian or something. Yeah, it's kind of like incest. But okay, let's see. What do we want to? We have 5 minutes. What does the chat have? Like burning questions or topics we should talk about? Because I have like 50 questions here. What do you guys want to talk about? Oh, wait, we have to talk about her sheath.
Oh yeah,
her dad got her. Like, what do we think the significance of that is? Because Lilith is like obsessed with it in the one scene that she's whaling the fish. She's like, "Ooh, that's really nice. That's a great thing." Or
yeah, it has like protective magic and stuff on it.
Yeah. I wonder why she liked it so much though. Like that's why I'm like, did he buy it from like a sketchy place? Like, how did he buy it? Like, where did that money come from?
There is still that mystery of like he was released a week ago and then he was like off doing who knows what for a week before he showed up on the day of the wedding.
Yeah. Should we rank the Carstairs? We've got Emma, we've got Cordelia, we've got Jem. What other Carstairs are there? Oh, Alistair. Elias. Oh, wait, no. Elias is his name. Elias. Well, I'm going to go Jem first.
Really?
I'm surprised by that.
What? Jem's great.
Yeah, but I have Emma first.
No, Jem for me.
Jen is second for me.
Who's your first, Jesse?
Jem.
Jem. And then I'll go Cordelia and then Emma. Emma and her obsession with Julian.
I love Emma.
I love Emma.
I love her too.
This
You know
house.
what? She's literally just taken round because of Julian.
What's wrong with Julian?
I don't like him.
What? Why don't you like Julian?
Because he's slimy.
Oh, you're slimy.
No, I'm not.
James is slimy.
What did you say, slimy?
James.
No, he's not.
100%.
He's not. He's snarky. It's different.
Someone's a hypocrite in here, and it's X-Teen May.
It is not. Julian's his life little. Yeah, but like his siblings are.
So anyway.
Welcome to our meeting of the Julian fan club. Today we will be talking about why he is so much better than James.
I love having power in here.
Talk about people's lives sucking. All of their lives suck. Like yeah, that's like Christina's life literally sucks. Literally every person has a very shitty life.
It's true.
So Jace watched his father, who was abusive AF, be murdered in front of him as a 10-year-old that was shipped off to a random family that he did not know.
Well, which ended up being good for him.
It did, but that's still really traumatic.
Okay, so it's okay for that to happen to Jace, but it's not okay for it to happen to Grace. Because I know you hate Grace, and you think that.
Well, Jace is really nice. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because he was shipped off to a family that took care of him and loved him, where Grace was shipped off to a manipulative monster who.
She is. I'm not saying that Grace doesn't have a redemption arc, but she hasn't gone there yet.
That's true, but like, I just know you hate Grace a lot.
Well, it's because she has the chance to do the right thing over and over, and she just doesn't.
Because she doesn't know how. From the age of 7, all she's had is her manipulative ass mother and her half-dead brother.
You know what how is? Just take off the bracelet. It's not hard. Just take it off.
Well, she also doesn't have that much opportunity. Like, I assume that she wants to explain things to James when she takes it off. Like, yeah,
she could just take it off.
Take it off. But I feel like if he's her only friend and like she doesn't want to lose him as a friend, she wants to like have a chance to explain herself.
Yeah, but if she took it off and then came back and explained herself,
from the time they got engaged, James has been avoiding her. Like,
no, but she could have come over. She could have tried. She did not try.
I'll give you that. Like, yeah, she had opportunities, and especially when she had the best opportunity. Instead of taking it off, she made him kiss her, which is like the worst
Yeah,
thing.
she's done a lot of like weird, cold-hearted stuff in random moments that it's like hard to get past. Like when she was like, "Matthew, kiss me." Like I know that's all she knows, and I'm going to eventually forgive her. But right now, she hasn't done enough to earn our forgiveness yet.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Anyway, I'm not saying Jace is perfect. I'm just saying I love him.
You did say Jace is perfect earlier, though.
I said he's great, not perfect. Nobody's nerfect. Okay, anyway, this is irrelevant. We're having a debate about characters who are all very fucked up. Anyway, I want more Christopher. I feel like he's a really cool character and we only get to see little bits of him. Okay, should we do one final question?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Where do you feel like this falls for you in Cassie's books?
Sure. Does that mean we have to rank all of them?
Well, like you could say like middly, bottomy, toppy.
Okay.
Honestly, for me, it's kind of bottomy.
It's for me too. It's bottomy for me.
It's bottomy for me too. It's unfortunate.
That's not like a bad thing though, because it's still good. It's just
Yeah, it's still a Cassie book. I can't even say I enjoyed it though, because my ultimate feeling leaving it was frustration.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I feel like the final book in this trilogy is going to be amazing, and I'm going to love it. And like this is a necessary book to get there. It's just like this book left me so mad and frustrated in so many different ways that like I didn't leave with enjoyment. I left with anger.
Yeah, same. I was like so mad with the whole thing. So it's hard to put it anywhere near the top.
Right.
Like other books that had cliffhangers like this, I still enjoyed more, even for their angst. Like I compare this a lot in my brain to the middle Infernal Devices book, but
that one is very enjoyable.
That was very enjoyable, and that one, the ending of that, the angst and the miscommunication and like the love triangle-ness of it, like I felt for it, but it wasn't like so rage-inducing. Because the thing that pisses me off the most is that when James kisses Cordelia at the end, and they have that moment where he's like, "I'll never feel for you, but I feel for Grace," and he sees in that moment that Cordelia took it the wrong way.
I know.
Doesn't correct it in that moment. Like you know that she didn't take it the right way.
Right.
Don't correct it. You're like, wait, hold on. I meant that I hate Grace now, but like, like. It's such an easily avoidable miscommunication for him to just be like, no, you misunderstand. Because he sees her misunderstand. It isn't like she hides her feelings. He sees her misunderstand and he lets her go anyways.
That scene was infuriating. I was like, James, say something else to her before you leave that fucking room. And then he does it. And then he has the nerve to like try, trick Grace by saying like, thank God. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're in a house of Cordelia.
I don't understand why Cordelia had to go away. If it's his dad, like, why can't Cordelia stay there for that? And
I know.
And if he sees it's Grace, like, why can't Cordelia be there for the explanation? Like,
I know. I literally like yelled about like why didn't he call Cordelia down when Grace was at the door? Why didn't he say, "Hey, it's Grace. Can you get down here?" Like, I don't love her. So just let you know, I don't love her.
Why didn't he take Grace to the room Cordelia was in instead of sequestering her in this private little room to have this I'm so mad.
It was so infuriating. And then like Matthew being like, "Want to cut the pets?" Like, shut up, Matthew. Shut up. Yeah. So it was a frustrating book. It had really nice moments. But overall feelings were like, I want to rip people to shreds right now.
Pretty much.
But I feel like, again, we said this, but the third book's going to be like so good.
Yeah. And the thing is, the reason we have such strong emotions is because we care so much.
Yeah.
Like, if we didn't care, then we would just be like, whatever. but we care so much, and that's why we feel so strongly.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Matthew gonna die, Matthew not gonna die. I feel like because it feels like he's gonna die, he's not going to.
I don't know, because the thing is with Cassie books is a lot of people end up in relationships, and I don't see a projection for Matthew ending up in a happy relationship.
Yeah, but I'm hoping it's a misdirect.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
When's
the next one come out?
I feel like next year.
Next year, or even the next year. We don't know. When does the next Magnus book come out?
I have no idea.
Fall? I'm guessing fall.
Maria said she's scared that Lucy's going to have her mark stripped. I wonder if Matthew maybe gets his mark stripped. What if they're just like human? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to end in a 3-way relationship. I think maybe
I think we already did that 2 different ways, so we're not going to have that again.
Yeah. TDA, we've got a throuple happening. You know about it.
Also, Matthew and James can't be together.
Oh, because they're Parvati.
Yeah. That's illegal.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We've already done it. So yeah, I'm excited for Chain of Thorns too. You want to recap our next 2 book of the months?
Sure. April, this month we are reading The Sky Blues. Hey! And then in May we're reading Lycanthropy and Other Chronic Illnesses. Did I say it correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. In May we're reading this book. Both excited for both of them. That's our lineup. Again, we have, what?
Someone just said that they saw a theory that Matthew Anselm was Nightshade. What if he gets turned into a vampire?
Ooh.
That's some interesting shit.
That's interesting, yeah.
I like that. Okay. Well, now I want to look up things. But okay. We'll see. Oh, Cassie's new adult fantasy. Like her new fantasy that's an adult fantasy is coming out in fall.
Oh wow.
I'm on Goodreads right now, and Black Volume of the Dead, which is the 3rd Eldest Curses book, says is projected for 2021, but it doesn't have a date, it doesn't have a cover, and I feel like if we don't get those soon, it's going to be more like this time next year. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh my god. If you just turn into a vampire, that's so exciting.
Yeah, I can see that. That would be a very interesting, he dies, but he doesn't die.
Yeah, because there is connection. We've seen connections from Fairchild to Nightshade somewhere. I remember Emma talking about it someplace. Definitely. Interesting.
What does Nightshade look like? I forget his description.
We never see him. Doesn't he like do the illegal pizzas or something? Isn't he the one who sells those?
The illegal pizzas. I mean, that does seem like kind of a Matthew thing.
Oh my god. I guess we'll see. Wow. This is like the new Will is going to be Brother Zechariah. I don't know if you guys remember that theory, but that was a theory.
Cassie's adult book says expected 2022.
Oh shit. Maybe it got pushed.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. This was real fun. We had so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Always when it comes to Cassie's books.
Yes.
Okay. We will see you on Tuesday on Christine's Instagram.
Oh yeah, I give it better. Paperback celebration Taylor Swift live show on Instagram. We'll see you then.
Yeah.
I'm Christine.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Matt.
We're Book Explosion. Bye.